got it, Frankie. And we're talking about Black Friday. It's typically the retail industry's most lucrative shopping event. But this year, many smaller businesses across the GTA are hanging on by a thread, closed during lockdown, while most big box stores remain open under provincial guidelines. And the question is that fair? And how can we support our local friends? For more, Dan Kelly joins me, president of the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses. Good morning to you, Dan.
Good morning.
This is a tough one, specifically in Toronto and Peel. Those are in the lockdown mode right now. What is the big message right now? I think I know what you're going to say, but what more can be said?
Well, look, this is really just killing small businesses being locked down at their busiest season when customers are counting on them and their goods they've stocked up on are sitting on the shelves, but their doors are closed. So we're going to have to be more creative if we want to support small businesses, if we want to see these businesses survive. These small retailers have just been through hell and back. And I got to tell you, we're expecting 1 in 7 of them to no longer be there at the end of the pandemic if we're not taking care to ensure that we patronize them as much as we possibly can.
It's really important to see those numbers because right now a lot of people sort of have the blinders on and they're saying, well, it's easy just to click and go to the big guys or go to the big box stores and get things done. But the landscape of our communities very much is going to change. We saw in the city of Toronto, Roncesvalles, the BIA locally did that thing where they said the for lease. It was a very smart campaign and said this is what your neighborhood could look like. It could look like this. Businesses going out of business if you don't help them now. And you share that exact same sentiment.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, behind every boarded up window is a family that no longer has a business to go to, are employees that no longer have jobs to go to, and a community that really suffers as a result of not having that. So many of us have chosen a Toronto neighborhood because we love the independent restaurants and the independent shops that we can walk to or a short drive away. Those could no longer be there. They're not props on the street to make it look cool. These are businesses that depend on all of us to patronize them. So we're urging tomorrow, Small Business Saturday, for consumers to dedicate a chunk of their spending to try to get it to small businesses. So many of them, I've been walking up and down some streets in Toronto, so many of them are now doing curbside pickup. You can go to the door of the business and they'll sell you something right from there. Thousands and thousands have set up e-commerce sites. Please do check. Just because you're used to going on Amazon, you can easily just do a Google search to find out if your favorite small business is online. And if they're not, give them a phone call. They may have found creative ways of getting a good to you. Perhaps the owner will drop it off him or herself.
Yeah, I've seen one of my favorite clothing stores is doing like FaceTime appointments, and then you can sort of meet up that way. So you got to be a bit creative. They're getting creative, doing whatever they can to keep your business. So let's support them. I want to get your take on what's happening in Manitoba. We've seen some of those big box stores literally putting, cellophane around certain items that are non-essential goods. It looks like here in Ontario, that's not going to happen, but should that be happening?
Well, look, it is an improvement from a small business perspective. At least it takes away the argument that it's dangerous, supposedly, to buy a book in an independent bookstore with 5 people, but it's totally fine to go to Costco with 200 others and line up, having them breathing over your shoulder. That, from our perspective, it's deeply unfair, but it also makes no sense from a COVID perspective. Our preference, though, is to get small businesses safely reopened in the city of Toronto. We're pushing the government hard to find a pathway. We know this isn't business as usual, but at least allow them to serve a couple of customers at a time.
Absolutely. Let's do what we can here to support, especially this Black Friday, but also moving ahead, because who knows how long this is going to last as we go into the holiday season. Dan Kelly, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Anytime.